When I was younger, one of my favorite toys was Polly Pockets. I had all kinds of these little dolls with hundreds of their little rubber outfits and accessories. With their apartment, shopping mall, amusement park, and even stretch limo, my imagination would take off and I'd play with them for hours. I'd like to think that was time and money well spent. So I did a little research to find out more about the importance toys have in our lives. Dictionary.com defines a toy as a plaything, usually for an infant or child, often an instrument used in a game. Kids are quite capable of sitting down and enjoying whatever adults put in front of them, making the most of anything from a block of wood to a complex gaming system. But is that all a toy really is? After all, toys can be found from the most remote past from a great variety of cultures. Surely as prevalent as they are, toys are more than just objects of entertainment and diversion. There is a deeper significance of toys as material artifacts of culture, and the potential they have to tell us who we are and who our children are becoming. Today, we are going to look at the significance of toys. We'll start by analyzing the history of toys and how they came to be what they are today. We'll then examine the social impact toys have had in the United States. Then we will discuss the modern day significance of toys and how they help child development. Let's start with a brief history of toys. According to Britannica.com, which I accessed on February 14th of this year, toys have been around since the dawn of time. The earliest known written historical mention of a toy comes from about 500 BC in a Greek reference to yo-yos, made from wood and painted clay. However, the yo-yo originated in China much earlier than that, but the exact dates are unknown. Objects with human and animal forms that may have been toys were found dating back all the way to 2600 BC. Britannica.com goes on to say that as technology changed and civilization progressed, toys also changed. Whereas ancient toys were made from materials found in nature like stone, wood, and grass, modern toys are often made from plastic, cloth, and synthetic materials. Ancient toys were often made by parents and family of the children who use them, or by children themselves. Modern toys, in contrast, are often mass-produced and sold in local stores. According to thepeoplehistory.com, which I accessed on February 14th of this year, if you trace the changes in children's play, you can more or less trace overall changes in technology. The 20th century has seen growth and advancement in just about everything we use on a daily basis. Motors, batteries, computers, and chemicals have made modern life possible. And along the way, toys have enjoyed something of their own evolution. ThePeopleHistory.com goes on to say that people often lead to change, bringing new features to the populace in an affordable package. For example, look at the universal change that has taken place with dolls. The earliest, most primitive doll were simply wooden blocks and bundles of grass. Egyptian dolls were something jointed so that their limbs could move more realistically. But by the 19th century, dolls were being made that were able to say the word mama. Today, they are computerized dolls that can recognize the voice of their owner. Throughout this history, toys also reflect the society in which they are made, including that of the United States. According to the NewYorkHistory.org, which I accessed on February 14th of this year, the growing presence of toys in the United States was in part due to the emerging recognition of childhood as a special phase of life. However, rules governed when and how children might play with their toys, with many families enforcing a ban on Sunday play. Toys with biblical themes such as Noah's Ark set became joyful exceptions to this policy. Additionally described on NewYorkHistory.org, a connection between life and lessons and play also helped popularize toys in the U.S. Toy saving banks were sold to encourage children to learn the value of thrift, but banks in the shapes of playful animals, bank vaults, and buildings proved to be highly entertaining as well as instructive. In an era before moving images became commonplace, mechanical banks had tiny hidden figures that popped up with a tug on a string and disappeared again with each coin deposit, providing added amusement. NewYorkHistory.org also described how the world of adults, both work and recreational, often found expression in American toys. A 19th century child pulled a wheel American Express Company delivery wagon loaded with a burlap sack and wooden barrels and crates, and might have envisioned himself guiding the team of horses along country roads and city streets. Some of the toys also reflect some of the less desirable traits of our society. As the Encyclopedia of African American Popular Culture, written in 2011, states, racism and stereotyping may have been prevalent in much of American history, which are often reflected in toys. For instance, Mammy and Coon dolls were often popular selling items. Now they are considered distasteful and racist. A more current example found at allthatisinteresting.com on February 14th of this year are the chop suey specs, in case you want to fool your friends with an oriental disguise. While toys reflect a society's culture values and progress, they also fill another role. 0to3.com, which I accessed on February 14th of this year, states that toys promote the well-being of children. Recent advances in brain research have provided great insight into how the brain continues to grow and develop after birth. Whereas this growth has been thought to be determined primarily by genetics, scientists now believe that it is highly dependent on the child's experience. Objects such as toys cause the brain to develop in different ways. 0to3.com also reports that toys create opportunities for children to acquire, practice, and gradually perfect new skills. Young children achieve milestones across the cognitive, fine motor, gross motor, language, and social-emotional domains. And different toys encourage development in one or more of these developmental areas. For example, puzzles promote a problem-solving ability within the cognitive domain, as well as fine motor skills. Dress-up clothes nurtures a child's cognitive and social and emotional domains by permitting the creation of new play agendas and try to imagine the feeling of other individuals. Furthermore, according to the International Council of Toy Industries and their 2012 annual report, toys are basic instruments for the development for a child's fantasy, imagination, and creativity. Toys have been associated with children throughout history in all cultures and will continue to do so. As such, toys not only reflect the value of society of time, but also count as one of the most fundamental and significant parts of childhood. They are help develop skills, habits, and attitudes that will stay with children throughout their lives. In other words, toys are an important part of any child's lives. In the end, Buzz Lightyear from the 1995 movie Toy Story said it best. Upon understanding the value of being just a toy, he turns to Woody and says, "Come on, Sheriff, there's a kid over in that house that needs us."